attitude, Alex. What the hell was up his ass? Probably a soccer ball. But he was defensive off the bat. He was getting snappy and hostile with Nick. He was getting snappy and hostile with Vanessa. The fuck you?
And that's another thing I want to say. So we find out also Alex is living in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's in Arizona. Him and Devonte are living together. They did like a whole little sequel about it. It was so stupid. Like, no one cares. Now, moving forward to Alex and Ashley's reunion moment. I'm over this girls trip situation. I'm over all of it. I know we're going to get into Devonte and Brittany. I think we're going to do them last just because it's a whole lot. I don't even think I want to talk about Emma and Mike, to be honest. I mean, we can quickly. We'll just get into it. Emma and Mike, cutie patooties. Obviously they're not together. Mike is in a whole new relationship for the last 7 months, he said, and you could see he brought his girlfriend to the reunion. You could see on Emma's face that she's hurt and she's sad. She still has feelings for him, but at least she's taking the steps that she needs to do to get help, to go into therapy, to better herself. I'm happy for her, and I love that for her. But you do still see the love in her eyes when, he said he has a girlfriend and she's here today and all that stuff. The cameras really did a good job of pointing that to us, pointing that camera onto her face. But yeah, there's not much to say about them at all. Now we're gonna get into Ashley and Alex. I don't have much to say about Ashley, but Alex, bro, like, you have an excuse for everything. Like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you're able to have an excuse every single time, but you do. And you do a great job at it. And I find it crazy. Like, I actually do. So Ricky did her own little reaction, not reaction, but her own interpretation of the reunion of Ashley and Alex. And we're going to hear what she has to say.
I know you don't got no motherfucking attitude, Alex. What the hell was up his ass? Probably a soccer ball. But he was defensive off the bat. He was getting snappy and hostile with Nick. He was getting snappy and hostile with Vanessa. The fuck you?
And that's another thing I want to say. So we find out also Alex is living in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's in Arizona. Him and Devonte are living together. They did like a whole little sequel about it. It was so stupid. Like, no one cares. Still has the same attitude. Still doesn't like to be questioned. He looks like a bigger liar than ever before. And the man was just getting snappy with Nick. And what I love the most is how Nick was replying to him. Nick's comebacks this season was chef kiss. I was talking to my girl and I was just like, mwah. This man is amazing. We were laughing about it, but he was really fun. Nick was funny this year.
Oh, honestly, the best part of this reunion was actually seeing Alex play soccer and realizing that he sucked. Like, bitch, you did all that.
Yes. Oh my God. I remember I texted my friend. Oh, if I could find the message. I literally verbatim texted my friend. Please tell me it's here. Oh, there we go. I texted my friend. I was like, he's a shit goalie. Yo, that man was a terrible goalie. Saves 50% of the shots. And I'm like, there's a reason why you didn't go pro, bro. There's a reason why. You just weren't qualified.
Like, bitch, you did all that talking and Devonte, who doesn't even play soccer, was able to score 5 goals on you and you're a goalie? Sure, bud. As much as Alex sucked ass, I really didn't like Ashley either, okay? You thought you did your big one. You tried to have a I choose me moment. And girl, you didn't even do it right because you was trying to call him a liar and then you was trying to be playful with him at the same
time. Did anybody realize that Nick and Vanessa did not ask them whether or not they're in relationships? Because I noticed that there's rumors going on that Ashley is in a relationship. She allegedly cheated on Alex. And they didn't address that in this reunion, which I'm really surprised about. And I really was hoping they would, so we could come to a conclusion with this whole entire situation with them. But we didn't get our little closure.
Time like, oh my God, we did get married. Oh my God, like, you're lying when he was like making jokes about Austin. Now Alex is still adamant on the fact that like he didn't lie. Like, okay, he's saying like, okay, tell me what I was lying about. Basically alluded to the fact that like you were only asking me these questions on camera because you was trying to catch me up and you was just trying to get a moment, which she was, because at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says, the questions that Ashley was asking Alex were irrelevant, okay? Like, and that's no way to defend Alex because I hate him too, but I don't fuck with you either, especially after this reunion. But the questions were irrelevant. How I told you I was a nomad, so either I'll be where I'm at, I is where I be, is you with it or not? Like, that's it. If you really cared about that, you wouldn't have picked him in the pods. It's as simple as that. And don't think that I didn't pay attention to your apology to Jessica where you were like, I should have said more. I should have defended her more. But an apology with a but is not an apology. Him was sassy at this reunion. I was here to find a wife. I just didn't see one. Nick was quick with the comebacks, okay? He was very quick. He was very witty. He said, well, you're not supposed to see them. That's why.
I remember that part so well. And I was dying. I couldn't breathe. Nick had me deceased this season. Deceased. Shout out to Nick Lachey. Honestly, loved him in 98 Degrees, and I still love him now. Right? It was 98 Degrees. Am I right, guys? Anyways, doesn't matter. Alex, that entire season, the entire reunion, I mean, was defensive. And someone who's overly defensive is hiding something. And that's just my humble opinion. There's something that was off, and he felt very, like, targeted. So it's giving also trauma. So if you have trauma, my dear, seek help. But yeah, no, Alex didn't like him at all. He doesn't even know how to take accountability. He just says yeah and says but right after, just like Ashley, you know? And I do agree with her. Ashley's apology was really, I mean, at least she did it on TV, but like it was giving like a Chris apology. It was just very,
I can't help but to think that Ashley really could not get over the fact that Alex was not attracted to her. It was almost like, how dare you not be attracted to me? I'm Barbie. Of course. I'm MAGA Barbie. Of course you're attracted to me. How dare you be attracted?
Okay, I think she's going too far. I think it was more or less like, if you're not attracted to me, why stay? Like, the man realized real quickly. He noticed. He said he saw her, left, was all gaga over her, then saw Brittany and said, ooh, she's more my type. So if that's the case, why waste her time? Why? It's like, you're there for the bag. You're there for money, obviously, to get paid. You weren't actually there to find a connection. Just saying.
How dare you be attracted to a woman of color over me, over this? Now, I don't think he made it seem like she's Quasimodo, but she's conventionally attractive. Like, she gets bitches, okay? You can't tell me that she has trouble finding a man, but it's like, how dare you not be attracted to moi? You made me feel like Quasimodo. Girl, you know you don't feel like them. Goddamn Quasimodo. Yeah, but you know what? I really...
But again, when she said he made me feel like Quasimodo, listen, you could be the most beautiful woman in the world, and everyone has an insecurity. I'm not gonna say like she's like the best person in the world and all this stuff. Again, her views politically are none of my business. But at the same time, if a man's making you feel ugly, then what do you expect? Like, you have the right to feel the way you're feeling. It's an emotion. You can't, what Ricky is doing right now is gaslighting her for feeling for what she's feeling. And that's not okay. That's wrong. Because then you're not being a girl's girl neither. So how are we any better, right? Just saying. At this very moment. But she is a beautiful woman. She's Malibu Barbie. That's what she gives off. And when a guy doesn't make you feel good and doesn't want to touch you or kiss you or do anything with you, yeah, even the most beautiful woman could feel insecure. It's normal.
I'm glad their little package was short, but it was like you went up to that altar. You basically said, I interrupted him because I knew he was going to say no, and I didn't want to forget everything that I was going to say. I didn't want my little feelings to be hurt, and he didn't give a damn.
I think it was more or less also like there are like, you don't want to give someone who made you feel so small, allow them to feel so big. So I don't think Ricky understands that. Because if the shoes were reversed and she was in those shoes, she would want that also, that lick back, that moment of, I want to leave with my head held high. I want to feel like a queen. I want to feel good. And I'm not going to give him the advantage to break me down. So I'm going to call out everything he made me feel and attack him in a way that makes him feel the way I felt for whatever length of time. Whether that's right or wrong, that's a different story. Is it petty? Yes. But at the same time, she has emotions that she had to let off her chest, and she needed to do so. Like her or not, she has the right. So if she felt she wanted that upper hand, then go for it.
Didn't give a damn, okay? And why the hell was you on a trip with Devonte, and Devonte's his roommate, and he wanted Brittany?
And that's another thing. It's like, who cares? If he cares or not, it's not about him. It's about her in that moment.
Like, there's something very fishy going on with this little friend group. I think they fairly took it easy on Alex. But when Nick asked him to describe his whole experience and relate it to soccer, I just knew that that was Nick being a messy bitch. He was being a messy, petty bitch because in that whole scene, Alex did not actually mention soccer. That was the first time he hasn't mentioned soccer. So I love that Nick brought it full circle. Like, give us a soccer reference. And of course, he had one ready to fucking go. But I think it really just like brought me so much joy to actually see him play soccer and realize that he sucks. Like, I don't know a damn thing about soccer, but I do know that if I don't play soccer and I'm going up against a professional goalie, I shouldn't score nothing. I should have 0 points. And Devonte had 5 out of 10. That's pretty good if you ask me. You can't block any goals from Devonte. You expect me to believe that you can block them from professionals? Oh, please.
I'm dead. That was funny as hell. That was funny as hell. But then Alex goes on the Vile Files, which he shouldn't have. But anyways, Vile Files should be canceled for it.
I watch Alex's
And well, he said this.
interview on the Vile Files, and you're welcome, because it is painful to listen to him talk. And y'all know how I feel about Nick Viall. And he just be talking about nothing. My God. This literally could have been an email, but let's get into the cliff notes. We're going to get through this quick, okay? He said that he feels like there was inaccuracies in editing. He has a complicated past.
So now everyone's gonna blame everything on editing. Bree's gonna blame it on editing. He's gonna blame it on editing. Who else? Amber's gonna blame it on editing. Come on, you guys. Take accountability. Goodness sakes.
Explain first instead of being asked. He says he needed to be proactive in his storyline, whatever that meant. He learned to have patience with his storyline, whatever that meant. Like, if my girl like has a problem with like something that I'm saying, like I shouldn't wait till she asks me, and I should like pull her aside and like go through the things that like are making her feel insecure, which is like what was happening with Ashley. Yeah. Asked about like Ashley's triggers and like what was left out, and he basically said like the Austin girlfriend timeline, he didn't know how to explain that he was on Ohio Love is Blind but lived in Austin. Like, he didn't know how to explain that basically, bitch, I don't live in Ohio, I actually live in Austin, and I'm just saying I live in Ohio so that I can get on this show. He brings up this ex again.
Okay, so he lives in Austin. I think I said Arizona before, whatever. I'm confused. The man's a nomad, so man lives everywhere. Here's my thing though. You guys don't film every single day. You guys don't film every single day. There are days where you don't have the cameras on you. You could easily look at her and tell her, you know, it's because of X, Y, and Z. I actually live here. I don't live there. That's reality. But the thing is, you wanted to get paid. And you wanted the money. And you wanted the attention and the clout. You wanted to be on screen for a longer period of time so that you can make money. Just say that.
Says the last time he saw this ex was 4 months ago, like before the show, and that Ashley brought about like trust issues, like she had trust issues, but whatever. Nick does ask, like, why did you go on Love is Blind? Basically, why did you go on Love is Blind? You don't even live in Ohio. You have a very specific type. You have a nomadic life, aka you homeless and ain't got no job. Like, what about you screams ready for marriage? He's like, yeah, you know, because like it's like an experiment, so like I just wanted to see if I can like get there, like if the emotional could like supersede the physical, and like I've just learned that like they're both equal, like they're both equally as important. I just wanted to see if like I could rank emotional higher than physical, and like ultimately I couldn't. So Natalie then jumps in and goes, okay, so like it wasn't about marrying, it was just trying to see if like you could do that, if you were capable of doing that. He's like, I wouldn't say that the overall goal was to get married, but he realized like physical is just as important as emotional. And then he did reiterate that he thinks that Ashley is objectively beautiful. I just know this is eating Ashley up. I know her gears are grinding. It's just grinding her gears that this man is like keeps overly saying like he was not attracted to her. Like, because I know she just thinks she's the baddest bitch. So they did actually bring up.
But it's not that. It's also like, you keep telling me I'm not attractive, and it's like you're making me feel insecure. Like, it's not about how it's grinding her gears. It's more or less like, just shut up. Just say she's not my type. Not that she's not attractive. I think those two are very different.
They did actually bring up the grandma story and the family history of it, you know, because daddy called him out and literally caught him lying in 4K. Again, he had a reason. He had an answer just like this. He's like, oh, like basically in that moment, I misspoke that his grandparents passed later in life, not at 67. And then he gets into Christian Science was his faith, like, and that they don't celebrate birthdays. And so age is, you know, a concept.
Was he in a cult? He had to have been in a cult. Was he raised? He had to have been raised in a cult. Something. Maybe his mom's on the run and so is he. And he was trying to find his place in society and find a place to live and be comfortable. Because there's just no way you're talking like this. I'm just...
And ages, and that's why he got it wrong. That's why he thought his grandparents were 67, because they really didn't know each other's ages. Okay, so then you don't know your age then, is what you're telling me. Like,
called math. So you take the present year, or the year that they died, the year that they were born, subtract, and you get their age. Basic math.
And then he took a rule out of Vanessa's playbook and was basically like, I don't have to have all the answers. I was like speaking on something that I didn't know. Like, not knowing is an okay answer. Like, she just said this to him at the reunion, and now you've had an epiphany, and now you're using the I don't know answer. Like, this man is so full of shit, you guys. They asked about his
He's worse than Chris. He's actually worse than Chris. I can't believe I'm saying this. He has to be worse than Chris. Because at least Chris, we see his actual true colors. Being around a compulsive liar, you know how draining that is? Like, I'd rather be with someone who's a dick than a compulsive liar. Because a dick, they are who they are. You see who they are, and that's it. That's all. Whether they're psychotic or whatever, like, it's his true self. A compulsive liar is like, could be a really good narcissist too. It could have the traits of a narcissist. So that's very scary.
Unkept beard and big ass suit at his wedding. He said it was on purpose. He said ahead of time, I knew it was going to be a no, and that he knew it wasn't going.
The picture from this video, your face is not even fresh. You don't even have like a fresh beard. It doesn't even look clean. Bro, you just don't know how to keep yourself looking clean, looking like a gentleman, looking classy, whatever it is. Then if that's the case, I'd rather you say that. Oh, it was my wedding day. I knew I was going to say no, so I didn't care to try. Bro, give me a break. Save me the BS.
He knew it wasn't going to be a real wedding. He said he didn't walk his mom down the aisle for that reason. He said he didn't shave. He didn't go to the barber, and that's something he wants to save for his real wedding day. He knew his jacket.
You don't even save it for freaking an everyday situation. You don't even cut your hair and shave your beard or trim it or line it up for an interview.
It was too big, and he said the fuzz in his beard was accidental, but everything else was very much on purpose, because he wants to save that for his real wife, as if those things are like his virginity. Like, I want to save this for my wife. Like, what? And what's so funny is the hosts are literally looking at him like this. They keep hitting him with the sure. Okay. Okay, yeah. They bring up the sex convo, and then he's like, which one? The period convo. He's like, oh, I didn't want to have. There's context missing, and that he was out of his depth in that conversation. Natalie then asked about him at the reunion, saying that Ashley should have waited to have sex after the mud date. And he's like, yeah, like she was like, you doubled down on it. And he's like, yeah, to an extent. Now, that whole conversation was ridiculous to me. Like, if the man don't want to have sex, he don't want to have sex. If a woman doesn't want to have sex, she doesn't want to have sex. Like, Ashley should not be forcing him to have sex. If he didn't want to have sex after that mud date, if he wanted her to wait, like, that's his prerogative. Like, because if it was a woman and if it was the other way around, we should not be like, oh, because you guys had a sexy date and rubbing mud all over each other, you're entitled to sex. So I'm not really sure how that just flew over. He goes on to say, like, basically, if Ashley wanted more intimacy, then she should have been the one initiating it, and that they had a lot of sex in Mexico. He's like, bitch, I gave you enough dick. Like, I'm not giving you no more. Like, I asked when he knew.
If you didn't find a girl attractive, then you wouldn't be able to have sex with them. And I think that's what he did later on in the storyline. He made it into something where he made his storyline into him being unattracted to her. But in reality, if you had plenty of that in Mexico and you didn't find her attractive, your buddy wouldn't go up. Just saying. I think she was just someone that you would get in bed with. I don't think she was someone that you would marry. And that's absolutely fine. And that is absolutely okay. You have the right to your own taste. You have your right to your own type of women. But at least be clear on that.
He said that after the interrogation with her dad, it was hard, but after meeting her friends is basically when he knew it was a no, that her friends couldn't get over his past. Her friends kept asking questions about his past, and that was like 4 to 5 days before the wedding. It did.
Because it's sketch. You're a sketchy human being. You're a sketchy man.
said that after the interrogation with her dad, it was hard, but after meeting her friends is basically when he knew it was a no, that her friends couldn't get over his past. Her friends kept asking questions about his past, and that was like 4 to 5 days before the wedding. They did ask about his opinion on like his peers, on like Devo, Chris, him, for instance. You guys all suck, basically, is what they were saying. He's like, oh yeah, like, very PR answer. We have ways to learn and grow. Like, both the men and the women have ways to learn and grow. Like, I do, on a certain extent, feel like we got an unfair edit. Sure, blame the edit, bud. This interview is not an edit, and you the same, okay? There's room for growth and grace. That's what he said. They asked about him living with Devonte. They were like, did you live with Devonte when he lied about this Austin trip? And
I'm convinced he's either a serial killer or he has a secret family. Because I don't understand this whole nomad life. How are you traveling everywhere and not having any stability at your big ass age? It makes no sense to me. You're really weird. You're giving off something that's just like not normal. Like, you don't even have like a campground that you could go to for an X amount of time. Like, I don't get it. It's giving something really is weird. There's a hidden secret, and I feel like the internet's gonna find out.
He said that he's in Arizona, but he doesn't want to say where Devonte lives. Now, Devonte has come out in interviews and said that he actually doesn't live with Alex. They both some liars, okay? 2 peas in a pod, made for each other. They should actually get married. He literally gave one of his little jumpy answers. He was like, yeah, like, kind of like has been. Like, I travel, you know, in these months, like, I traveled through LA and Austin and in Cleveland and Florida. And they're like, okay, so you have a shared residence, like you and Devonte? He's like, yeah, They then asked, like, what would you say to Devonte as a friend about the work trip thing? And he's like, not sure how the situation went down, so I don't want to comment on it, but I would have told him to be as open as you can and that the truth always comes out. He said that he didn't talk to Devonte about the situation, but it didn't seem like a big deal, that it was just like people hanging from the show. And then Nick like pointed out how the girls were posting, but Devonte wasn't posting, and that there was just something sneaky about it. And he's like, yeah, like, you know, we have rules.
So Alex basically knows everything, knows the whole truth about Devonte, and he supports his antics and his BS. Devonte knows everything about Alex. They're both 2 peas in a pod, like she said. They're both terrible human beings. They're both weird ass people. And yeah, and then now saying they don't live together after they said they live together makes absolutely no sense. What was the point then of saying that you guys live together? Like, what were you guys trying to do?
So like, I'm not really sure, like, you know, maybe he wasn't posting because of that. Like, they did ask about the moment in the bathroom with Chris and him like shitting on Connor or whatever. He's like, I went along with a disrespectful conversation, but basically I was just affirming what Chris was saying, but I was worried about my own shit. Like, I was worried about my shit with Priyanka. So like, really, I was just like letting him talk. He says that he's very close to Connor and that he has spoken to Connor about it. Like, a bunch of nothing, you guys, talking in fucking circles. Like, yeah, I could see that Chris was like self-destructing. I just let him talk, but I was worried about my own stuff. Like, you could tell that Natalie, Nick Viall's wife, does not fuck with Alex. Like, she had such a like look on her face, like. They did ask if conversations in casting came up about his living, because it's weird. Like, casting would not have casted him if they didn't think that this man lived in Ohio. He said that it wasn't part of the casting conversation. However, he did have conversations with Ashley, and if he had found his wife, he would have been willing to stay.
It's a damn lie, because that man was eager to leave. That man kept harassing her and kept pushing her to saying, oh, I got the job to be a coach in Florida, Y and Z, da 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 da. Then to find out that he moved to Florida, then left Florida, so I guess you got fired from your job as a coach. I don't know. And you need to know now, and she needs to talk to her boss now, and that. What? Like, this is worse than his reunion, segment. Way worse. This is like a malatête. It's like a headache. That's what he is. A freaking headache.
He's not even in Ohio now. Like, but that him and Ashley made it clear that they both didn't want to live in Ohio. And he gave that context in the pods. Oh my God, Nick Viall asked about this safe house trust in Dubai. He had an easy way out. He could have just said like, I was fucking around, because Nick was like, were you fucking around, or like you seemed like you were serious? Bitch, he had a fucking answer for it. Of course he did. This is what he said. He's like, yeah, like I dream big. Like I wanted to be a professional athlete. Like you thought we was gonna get through an interview and he wasn't gonna mention being a professional athlete. Who are you fooling? He said, yeah, like I have big dreams. Like it's not that difficult to set up a trust in Dubai. Like, and he said some gibberish about getting residency in Dubai and some gibberish, some letters about starting a company. And Nick's like, sure, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. Of course you like need more capital, like so full of shit. Then he goes on to say like I actually like have dual citizenship with New Zealand. Like I wasn't talking about like getting like a bunker. Like I just meant like a place to go outside of the US if stuff hits the fan. Like what would hit the fan? Who are you running from? Like you are evading the law, Alex. I just know it. Nick was like, wouldn't it be hard to leave the country if like stuff hit the fan? He's like, nah, if you have like ahead of time. Like
This man has an illegal passport somewhere. He did something that he's not supposed to be doing. He's probably a low-key hitman. I don't know, but there's something off about this man. And Love is Blind allowed somebody who is sketch on their show. And one day it's going to come out and it's going to be the world history of Love is Blind failure. I cannot. This man gives me the ick. I'm not finishing it. I think there's like another like a minute or so. No need to. We're just gonna jump into Brittany and Devonte. Alex drives me crazy. The lies, the stories. Honestly, as much as anybody hates Ashley, she dodged a hell of a bullet. Thank you, God. Well, that's it for this video, you guys. Make sure to come back for tomorrow's video to see which couple we'll be talking about next. Bye.